Hey guys, and welcome back to my Let's Play of LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. Last time we painfully made our way through an asteroid field. Nothing much else happened. I mean, we saw Boba Fett at the end, so that's a thing. But now it's time to see things from Luke's perspective. We never actually see it in a cutscene, it just tells us in this opening crawl. But Obi-Wan has of course told Luke that he must go to the Dagobah system and learn the ways of the Force from Yoda, the Jedi Master who trained him. I thought that was Qui-Gon Jinn. Ah, see, that's a plot hole in The Phantom Menace, but we'll ignore that one. Just focus on The Last Jedi. Chapter 4, Dagobah. Han Solo and Princess Leia have finally evaded the Imperial fleet in the Millennium Falcon and are on their way to Cloud City, secretly followed by the bounty hunter Boba Fett. Meanwhile, following instructions relayed to him by the spectral form of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke Skywalker has piloted his X-Wing fighter to the forgotten planet of Dagobah. Accompanied by his trusty droid R2-D2, Luke heads towards the murky swamp world in search of his destiny. Hey, have you got any chips in there, R2? No. Well, I guess now nobody has them. No, 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 no! Wow, that's certainly convenient. We never see that thing. No, we do see it once in the prequels, actually. We see it in Revenge of the Sith. Oh look, we actually see this underwater creature. He's not crazy. He's perfectly still shiny and clean. Alright, welcome to Dagobah, a level that I don't particularly find very interesting, to be honest. Just, you know, it's a lot of green. We're doing a lot of the same things. Luke died. Just slid into the water. There's a ramp there. I should probably try taking the ramp. You gotta wonder, considering that otherwise R2 is exactly the same, was this programmed in LEGO Star Wars 1? But we just didn't have to use it, or did they just add it in later? I mean, that makes sense, it's just because R2 is exactly the same. His controls are exactly the same, his physics, his stiffness is exactly the same. It's like, did they add any... Did he just always have it ready for LEGO Star Wars 2? I doubt it though, but you never know. There should be a bat around here. In LEGO Star Wars 2, there's like a little bat that begins to attack Luke here. There's a whole bunch of creatures in this level that are enemies that we never really see in the film. I don't think we do. The bats are there. I know we see the bats. I'm not sure about the giant snake creature we're going to see though. I can still go after these studs, thankfully. So I thought. Where do they all spread to? So for the most part you're building these for R2. Just so he can get up. Want those. A couple of silvers I can miss. The golds, not so much. This is the last time we're going to be controlling Luke with a gun. He'll have all of his Jedi abilities later on. Why he can't use them now I'm not sure. But game, please don't do that. Sometimes it does just struggle to load up the next area. It's better than what I was doing when I was practicing on LEGO Star Wars 2. Around here it decided, the disc decided to stop spinning. Or the PS2 decided to stop rotating the disc. And I was like, why is the music just playing like one note again and again and again? And I was like, what's going on? And then I like paused the game, checked the sound effects and everything, and that started making everything go by normally. And then it was either the music or the sound effects that stopped. And then when I tried going into the next area, the game froze. And that's when I noticed, hang on, there's no sound. LEGO Star Wars makes my PS2 screech like nothing else. No, there are probably a few that are worse. It's not the first thing to do that. My PS2 is really on its last legs. Now, do I replace it with another PS2 that I just get? Because obviously this one's gonna have to be used. Do I get it from? Do I get another PS2 off of eBay, or do I instead get a PS2 playing PS3 off of eBay? The choices are mine and mine alone. R2. Oh! R2! Get them back! Get some of them back. That included the blue stud, you know. Again, I turned off the music so that just to avoid all the copyright claims, but because I was getting them. This level sort of like has some alternating music. It switches between Yoda's theme and some more spooky pieces of music. And then the music that plays when R2 falls into the water is what will play every time you fight the enemies. I actually really do like Yoda's theme though. I love Yoda's theme. What's the main piece of music everybody remembers from this film is the Imperial March, which, dare I say, I think in this film is very slightly overused. I know, that's a big claim, but you've seen how many times I've defended The Last Jedi in this Let's Play? That is hardly the big claim. We approach Yoda's house, and out he comes. Hey, who the hell are you? Oh, what the hell is that freaky little thing? Well, I'm not Yoda. Okay, I'm Yoda. You're Yoda? You're the one Obi-Wan sent me here to find. Will you teach me the ways of the Force? No, I will not teach you the ways of the Force. Okay, I'll teach you the ways of the Force. Yeah, you know, I remember this part. This is the part where Luke is the absolute worst when it comes to the fact that he's a mopey ass. You know, that thing everybody hates about him in The Last Jedi, even though it's his exact same characterization in the first two films. And the third one, really. I'd say he's even worse in this one. This is why I think Luke... This film... The other two definitely played a part, but this film is the reason why I think Luke is the worst part of the original trilogy. I mean, he's not Anakin. He will never be Anakin. He will never be his father, but... You know, it's misleading when he says he is a Jedi like his father before him. No. He's a bit more sensible. A bit less whiny. Yeah, your best chance is just use the jumping attacks for these guys. But he is very much just a whiny, mopey... brat that just likes to have everything go his way, and we can't use the Force abilities. Yeah, there are a few of these that we can blow up though. It's weird. Some need the Force, some can use the lightsaber. It's weird. I think that's all of that. There's another one a bit ahead. Right, we can have Yoda ride on our back. It's the only time we can have this happen though. Like Yoda will not ride on our back anytime we have Yoda and Dagobah Luke around. I'm just pushing R2 away. And now we're making a bridge. I don't know why we need Yoda on our back for this. I mean, I get that Yoda was on Luke's back for a good portion of this scene. But... Alright, why am I still trying? I just been explaining that the entire time. We need Yoda. It's weird, among all of these like little details and graphical changes they made for the complete saga, there's one they got rid of. To show that we actually do need Yoda for this, like, you could actually see the green glow around from Yoda's Force abilities around everything here. No, that's not here. Why is that the removed part out of all of it? Hello? Oh, they take him out. Okay. Another random move thing. There should be a giant snake thing here. Like the one we saw at the beginning of the level. They appear to have got rid of that one as well. Actually, I think you can still use Yoda here. In fact, it was an infinitely respawning snake. It would respawn after a bit. Why did they remove some things and why did they add some new things and then took away others? It's a really weird way of going about it. Trust us, this one contains some slight differences. That's why you should buy them all. So that's how it works. Right. Thankfully this section doesn't take very long. We will soon be able to take control of... No, I want that one down first. We need R2 for this. Even though we know R2 is perfectly capable of flying up. Yeah, he needs to ride on this thing. Yoda, what was that? Okay, now I know nobody watches this LP, but I'll ask anyway. Why is it perfectly fine for Yoda to go into exile and not Luke? You know, everyone says, well, this isn't the heroic Luke that I know. That's not what they say. They say it with a lot more swearing and racism and sexism and stuff like that. But aside from that, that's basically the gist of it. But Yoda went into exile as well, so why is it bad for Luke to go into exile and not the wisest and one of the most powerful Jedi of them all to go into exile? How do we know it wasn't just Yoda that gave Luke the idea? So, hey, if Yoda can do it, then I can too. Because this is what I'm getting. If Yoda can go into exile, why can't Luke? Yoda went into exile because he thought that he failed. Because he didn't know about Luke when he went into exile. You know, he and Obi-Wan had split up. Obi-Wan found out about Luke. Yoda didn't know. So why is it perfectly fine for Yoda to go into exile and not Luke? And then, even then, when Luke first arrived, Yoda was reluctant to teach him. He had to... Okay, I don't know why that hurt me. And then it all fell down. You know, even though Yoda knew that it had to be Luke, he was reluctant. He needed convincing from Obi-Wan. So it's just yet one of the many things that appeared in the earlier films but are now only issues in The Last Jedi because it's The Last Jedi. We have to come up with as many criticisms as we can, even though most of them are completely contradicting ourselves. Breathing in space. Luke being a Moby Dick. It's weird how I censor some words and then not others. A villain being killed with no backstory. You know, Snoke had no backstory. You know who else didn't have backstory? The Emperor, Darth Maul, General Grievous, Boba Fett. All popular characters. Killed with no backstory whatsoever. But none of them are a problem. Absolutely none of them. Even though Snoke's name alone gives him more backstory than simply the Emperor ever had. Call it a rip-off of the Emperor all you want. On that I'll agree. But don't just criticize it for something that you had no issues with for like 4 or 5 villains beforehand. Of all of them, I'd say Count Dooku is the most wasted, because, you know, we're told he's a former Jedi, but we're never told why he turned to the dark side. They never go into any details with that. As far as I can recall, anyway. I don't really try to commit much of Attack of the Clones to memory, but you know. They never really go into Count Dooku's backstory that much. I mean, the fact that we know he's a former Jedi gives him the most backstory out of almost every villain that isn't Darth Vader or Ben Solo. Kylo Ren, maybe you want to call him. How does that benefit Yoda and not me? So I don't get it. I think does it double the value of studs as well? Because that's what that looked like. I swear I just got 2,000 from that. Anyway, in terms of what's going on here is a scene I never understood. What happens in this scene? I never understood this bit. Like, we see this weird image of Darth Vader, which I keep pronouncing words in weird ways. And everything goes all slow motion. Luke strikes him in the helmet. He's dead. And then we see, I think it's Luke. And I never understood that. What were we fighting, for starters? Because obviously something had to be hitting the lightsaber. So there was something there, I just never understood what. And I realised I forgot to backtrack at a certain point, and I'm not going all the way back now. You can go back to Yoda's house, but we have to go back through the cave section. I always forget that part. Because I keep thinking it's later on in the level, I keep thinking it's here, but it's not. It's way further back. You can go into Yoda's house. There's actually a lot more in there, and a lot more space, really. It's weird. You have to be a small character to go into Yoda's house. Not like as in like Anakin, or Anakin as a boy, or Boba Fett as a boy. It's not like a crawling space. But Luke is too tall to fit in, because what the hell is crawling? But R2 and Yoda are both shorter than he is, so they can both fit through the doorway. But Luke will then appear inside the house anyway, and he can exit the house perfectly fine. I don't get it. You know, I understand what that vision of Darth Vader thing is. It's because they couldn't waste the opportunity. You and I will settle down in a cottage built for two. Dear little buttercup, my little buttercup, I love you. That's what it was for. It all makes sense now. Thank you, Family Guy, for clarifying it. Oh, come on, really? These bats are kind of annoying. And there tends to be a few sections in the level where the bats infinitely respawn. Like, they'll disappear, give it like 10-15 seconds, they'll come back again. You always know they're coming because the music will pick up. Where it starts going. Come on. I'm so close, damn it. I need a Dark Sith character to use them. Don't know why, I can just break these ones. It's freaking 51,000. That is a very random number. I mean, I can maybe understand 53,000, but 51,000? That's just weird. It's not 51,000. Is it 52,000? There's a blue one up here. Is it 52,000? Yes, it was. This thing up here. But that's not what we want. Our thing is up there. So we just need to destroy this gate and that's it. We've pretty much gone in a circle even though we can't see anything from the opening part of the level. Weird, I know, but that's how it works. Oh, really? Oh well. Let's go up here. Come on, Yoda. That was one thing I was wondering before I played the complete saga. It's like, does Yoda still have his hover chair? Or do they go the Lego Star Wars 2 route? Because if Yoda has his hovering chair in this level, that would be really weird. I mean, granted, that hover chair comes out of nowhere. It just jumps and it magically appears. But no, we're stuck with slow Yoda. Which I guess is one thing that is better with that is that Yoda, is no longer just jumping around all over the place. Oh, they made that a cutscene. You know, that's a good thing, because that thing does hurt you. And you do need to be Yoda for this. Luke will partially raise this, but he can't do it himself. As we saw in the film, that's how it works, so we do need Yoda to do this. I still find it weird that the music plays in the cutscenes when you turn off the music. Yeah, he bought that. This will cause a bit of a weird... So we are now back in... We now see Pilot Luke, but we'll never control him, which is really weird in the next level, where he'll suddenly magically be in a different outfit, which granted is exactly what happens in Lego Star in The Empire Strikes Back. And that's that. Yeah, Dagobah's not exactly a very interesting level. It's more interesting than Falcon Flight, but it's also longer than Falcon Flight. And that would be, in Lego Star Wars 2, that would be the only level where we play as Yoda. Outside of free, in story mode anyway. You know, you remember Yoda, that alien in the film that contains hundreds of species of alien, but adding a few more women is absolutely terrible and killing the franchise, even though the previous two main female characters were a princess and a queen / senator. You know, two very high authority figures. Again, you're only making sexism and racism for those of you that think other ethnicities are unwelcome in Star Wars, the alien-filled space opera. You're only making sexism and racism even more stupid. To think that's possible. You wouldn't think it would be, but somehow you did it. You somehow made it possible. But anyway, the controversy will continue, maybe, next time. Oh, it probably will. I've done it in like every part so far, and I'm not stopping. This is a long LP. This is going to be pretty much the longest LP on the channel. This will be longer than Sonic Heroes. So, I will see you guys next time, where a truth that absolutely everybody over the age of 4 knows will be revealed, I should say. So I will see you guys then.